Hi everyone, it's Anja here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are at week 2 of our Ode to Anna Cal and we are making baby blocks. So I'm calling these baby blocks because this is the blanket, or one of the blankets that my grandma made as a baby blanket for my children. So this was for Rachel, and she used a sort of a little filet design in here where she created 16 boxes. Actually, in our project this week we are going to be doing a design where we create 9 boxes. So don't worry about the fact that they're a little bit smaller. I wanted them smaller because we are making bigger ones as well in a few weeks. So this week we start with a divider section because I always like to sort of make sure that you see where one thing ends and the next one starts. So we'll have the first divider section and then we will work on our baby blocks. Also this week there will be a second video for you to find out how my grandma used to make these labels that she put on a lot of her blankets. So if you fancy making that for your blanket, then do go ahead and watch out for that video on Wednesday. So let's get started on week 2. Now, in between the sections that I'm going to suggest we are going to do a sort of a little bit of a section sort of to say that's the end of this one, and now we're going to start with another one. So that will be made up of 5 rows. The first 2 rows will be just double crochets, and the last 2 rows will be just double crochets, and then in between we'll make the kisses, the ones I like so much. So let's get started. So we are going to do a chain 2 for turning. So this is row 30. Then we turn our work and we are going to do a double crochet in each stitch along the line. So that means 194, because of course this first one here counts as our first one, obviously, so our 195th, and then the next one we do around the chain space, the next one we do on top of the double crochet, the next one around, on top, around, on top, and so on. Okay, so I will see you at the end of the row. Don't forget to subscribe so you get notified of every new tutorial I post. So I have made it to the end of my row here. Don't forget to do that last one in that turning chain. There we go. And then we do 2 chains if the yarn wants to cooperate, of course. And then we turn our work and we do another row of double crochets. There we go. See, there we are. I'll see you at the end of the row. And I've made it to the end of my second row. So now we are going to make the kisses. So we are going to chain 2, turn, and then you're going to skip a stitch. So the one that's the chain is coming out of is your first one. Then you skip the next one, and into the next one you're going to do a double crochet. So you yarn over and you do a double crochet. Then you yarn over and then you go back to the one that we've just skipped. And we go round it, pull it up a little bit more than what you would do normally, and you do your double crochet. And there we go. There you have a little cross. Next, same thing. Skip, work in it. And then next one, yarn over and go back to the one that you've just skipped and work, and work your double crochet. There we go. So this is how you're going to do this row, by sort of doing the double crochets, but in the wrong order almost. And you will notice at the end you will have 2 stitches left. Because of the stitch repeat and the amount of stitches, we will have 2 stitches left. So I will meet you when you have those 2 stitches left. I will sort them out. So don't get confused, because I was just looking now and you need to really make sure, yeah, I have used this stitch here, so skip this one and use this one. So don't use your stitch twice. Yeah, okay. So check it to make sure you haven't done that. So this one is used, skip that one. There we go. Go back to that one. Yeah. Okay, I will see you at the end of your row. So I have made it to the end, and I have here this last stitch left and then my turning chain. So that's correct. So now I'm going to do a double crochet into the first stitch there and a double crochet into my turning chain. The reason why we do this is because, of course, we have a repeat of 2, but we have uneven numbers anyway. So there we go. This is the best way to do it, and it's not going to, nobody's going to see that we've done that, and that's what normally happens when you have to do a correction like that for the allowance of the the stitch repeat. So now we are going to do another 2 rows of double crochets. So you chain 2, turn, and double crochet in each stitch of your round. At the end, you make sure you do your double crochet in your last stitch, you chain 2, you turn around and you come back. So I will see you when you have finished your 2 rows of double crochets. Okay, so I have completed my 2 rows of double crochets. So in all, I've done the 2 rows, the kisses row, and then another 2 rows. I have also counted my stitches, just to make sure that we still have the right amount of stitches. I put every 50, I put my stitch marker, another 50, and so on. So the last one was 45. In fact, that was 35, and then I had to do another 10. So that always helps to have sort of in between somewhere. If you're not counting every row, obviously you don't want to do that, but in the beginning you might do, then you stop doing it, and you still need to count sometimes. Okay, so this is just my advice. Okay, so I know I have the right amount of stitches, because of course now we are going to do another stitch repeat, and so it always helps if you start out with the right amount. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let's get started on row 35. So we're going to chain 3, turn, skip the first stitch here, do a double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip, double crochet in the next stitch, and again chain 1. Now we are going to do 7 double crochets. So we skip 1, then it says 7 double crochets. So that means 1 double crochet in the next 7 stitches. Five, 6 and 7 if I'm not wrong. So let's see, 2, 4, 6. Okay, yeah, so this is what we've got now. And now we are going to again chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and 7 double crochets. Now when we establish this first row or the first few rows, you'll easily be able to see what you're doing in the next rows, just like we did here. So, you know, just concentrate really well for this row now, and it will pay off later. We will be crocheting without any worries later on. Okay, so chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1 and double crochet in the next. But that double crochet already counts towards our 7, so let's do those. So we have 5, 6 and 7. So continue like this. Let me just show you like so, right? So continue like this, making 3 boxes and then 7, 3 holes, 7, 3 holes, 7, okay? I will see you at the end of the row. Okay, so I've done my last 7 double crochets of the row here. I have 2 stitches left. Now we are just going to do a chain and a double crochet into the last stitch here. It's our stitch repeat, it's not going to work out, but we can use these later on for adhering the border, so that's fine. We can go with that. So we're going to chain 3, then we are going to turn, and then we skip this stitch here, and we are going to get started by doing 7 double crochets on top of the 7 double crochets that we did in the previous row. And then also when we get to the boxes, we will make boxes there as well. So in reality, we are actually repeating the row underneath. So where we did double crochets, we're going to do double crochets 2, 4, 6, 7. Where we did boxes, we are going to do boxes. And that way we sort of know what we're doing, so you don't necessarily need to look at the pattern. It is all written out in the pattern, of course. But if you can see what you're doing from the previous round, then of course that makes it easier. So this is what we will do for 3 rows. So we need to have 1, 2, 3 rows of this particular pattern. Then we're going to swap the boxes and the double crochets around, so that the boxes are on top of the double crochets and the double crochets are on top of the boxes, and then we repeat that 3 times. And that is then our complete repeat, if you can still keep up with that. But let's just keep going on this row first, and I will meet you at the end, and then we will get going from there. I will see you in a moment. Okay, so I have come to the end of my second row here of my repeat. So row 37, we are now going to do chain 3, turn, and once again we are doing the same on top of the same, if you know what I'm saying. So we do chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and then we do our 7 double crochets. So we're just doing the same on top of the same. I will see you at the end of the row. Okay, so I have come to the end of my row here, and of course here I have that little box to do, so we will do that little box. And we are now on to row 38, and we are going to do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, because we have to make that box. So we are going to do a double crochet onto that first double crochet, okay, And now we are going to be making the boxes. So we are going to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1 and double crochet in the next. Okay, so really disregard that first one here. Those are our 3 boxes that we always need to make. Then we are going to go on top of here with our 7 double crochet. So this one was our first one, second one goes around it, next one into it, around, in, around. So that makes 6, and then here we have number 7. And now we make our boxes again. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, 7 double crochets, 1 double crochet in the next 7 stitches. There we go. See? So now we're swapping around our little repeat, see? Let's keep going. So this row we are doing on top of the double crochets, we're doing the boxes, and on top of the boxes we are doing the double crochets. And this is the switch of the pattern repeat that I was talking about, and we will do this for 3 rows. So once we've got the 3 rows here of then doing the boxes on top of the boxes in the next 2 rows, okay, then we have our complete stitch repeat. So then we will be repeating those 2 sections, but let's just get there first, okay? So I'm going to continue like this, where I've swapped my boxes and I've swapped my double crochets. I will see you at the end of the row. I've made it to the end of the row. So here, as you can see, you've got those 3 boxes left, but of course those are 7 double crochets. So now we are going to do actually 2 rows of the same thing. So we're putting the same things on top of the same things. So here we're putting the double crochets on top of the double crochets, and then when you encounter the boxes, you're putting the boxes there. So we are going to do that for 2 rows. So you go to the end of this row, then you do that 1 little box at the end, you know that's extra that we need to do for the stitch count, and then you come back doing that little box and then doing the rest of your repeats. So I will meet you when you have done that. So then I will explain to you how we are going to continue after that. But I mean, to be honest, it's fairly simple, and just enjoy crocheting, really. I'm having such fun. Right, okay. I will see you at the end of those 2 rows that you're going to do now, and then I can explain the repeat to you. Good luck and see you later. Okay, so I've made it to the end of my second row that I was going to do, and now you can see the whole stitch repeat, or the rows that we need to repeat. Okay, so we're doing 3 rows where we have first the openings, then the double crochets, then the boxes, then the double crochets, and so on. Then we do 3 rows where we switch them round and we start with the double crochets, the boxes, double crochets, boxes. Okay, so now this makes up 6 rows. So now we're going to repeat this block of 6 rows another 4 times. So 6 times 5 is 30 rows, and that's what we need for our weekly amount of rows that we need to do. Okay, so now I'm going to start again by doing these rows, then I do those rows again. Okay, now if you go to the blog, you will see that I have once again made one of these things for you to tick off your rows. So we've done the initial repeat 35, 36, 37, 38, 39 and row 40. Then we have repeat 1, repeat 2, repeat 3 and repeat 4, and so each time you can tick off the number of the rows as you've done them. So you should end up with 64 rows towards the end. Also, what I want to say is my ball is nearly finished again, so I will have to start another one really soon, so I will do that as well. And yeah, so I'll show you obviously in a few moments, because of, you know, technology. I can show you in a few moments what this section looks like, and then you can get on with and do that for the rest of this week. So I will also then show you exactly where, but I'm thinking there's not much left, so I'm thinking that I will have to change during the next row for my balls. So that will be interesting to find out for you. When I change balls, then you can gauge how much you're using as well. So in a few moments I will be here to show you all the rest. I am now going to sit down and crochet, and you can enjoy the result in a moment. And as promised, I am back, and here is the finished part, week 2. So this is what it should look like, and I have in fact started a new ball. Let me show you here. So that was sort of the 2 sections that we did to start with, and then in the first repetition here I had to change the ball, so I had to start a new one. And then here, just before the end, there goes my hook, just before the end I had to start another one as well. So I'm now on my 4th ball, and I have to say I am really loving it. I know it's a cow, sorry, let me just pick up my hook. I know it's a cow, and I know that, I don't know how to say this, maybe some people are not thinking that it's difficult enough. It is rather simple. We are doing just a repetition of blocks of certain, you know, stitches that my grandma used to use, that she used to make so many blankets in. But for me, it's more about the crochet than about how difficult the cowl is. I want to give you something to do. I want to give you something to crochet up that's enjoyable to do, that once you know what you're doing, you can just keep repeating it and enjoy just having your crochet time. I think that's very important, and that's the type of cowl I had in mind, and I am enjoying it so much. I didn't realize before I started actually that it would be so, yeah, therapeutic almost. Leave me a comment down below about how you are experiencing this cowl. Now remember, we are making a little extra little box on this side just to make sure that our stitch repeat works, and not on this side. So here we have the 4, and then we have the 7 and just a little one extra. Okay, so don't forget that is all right to do that for this stitch repeat. So I hope you enjoy this week's pattern. Good luck with it, and I will see you next week for the next part. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Here's some more suggestions for videos I thought you might find interesting. Enjoy watching!